Hey everyone, it's Alexander, the real Mr. Robinson. Welcome to the channel. This is my review for Violent Night, which stars David Harbour as an ass-kicking Santa Claus. The plot of this movie takes place on Christmas Eve. There's a wealthy family about to celebrate Christmas, but all of a sudden, a group of criminals, led by John Leguizamo, invade the home, try to steal the money, and Santa just happens to be there at the wrong place and the wrong time. And also, he just happens to be good at kicking people's asses, and that's pretty much it. When I first heard about this movie, in my mind, I thought this was just another Bad Santa type of movie, where it's another Christmas comedy with somebody playing Santa Claus who's foul-mouthed, disgusting, and yada 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 yada. It didn't seem that interesting to me until I saw the trailer for this movie, where it was not at all what I imagined. It was sold to me and a lot of other people as Santa pretty much being John Wick. So I thought to myself, this could go one of two ways. This could either be so ridiculous and insane that it could be awesome, or it could be just really, really, really stupid. And unfortunately, this movie for me went down the latter path. When I got to the screening, I really just thought, well, I'm here, whatever happens, happens, and I found myself quite miserable throughout most of this movie. Based on the trailers, I told you guys that this movie was being sold as Santa Claus acting like John Wick. But what this movie actually is Die Hard with Santa Claus. And not just that, it feels like it was made by people who thought, you know what, Die Hard's not a Christmas movie at all, so why don't we actually make Die Hard a Christmas movie? Like, let's literally have Santa Claus be at this location at the wrong place and the wrong time kicking ass. And there's nothing exactly wrong with that, but the thing that made Die Hard work so well is that there are several points throughout Die Hard where John McClane is taken out of commission, like the scene where he's forced to step on broken shards of glass and his feet are cut up. In this movie, there are moments where Santa Claus is pretty much stabbed or shot and he tries to heal himself. But then you realize, oh wait, this dude's actually magic. He's been around for who knows how long. He has a bag that's just full of toys. It's pretty much like a bottomless pit like in Harry Potter. He's got flying reindeer. There's no way this guy is relatable at all. Especially when you consider the fact that this movie gives this incarnation of Santa a backstory that it literally comes out of nowhere, and it's like it belongs in a completely different movie. And I thought, wait, hold up, no, go back. We need to talk about this right here. There's no way you could just bypass this thing you just showed us. That is a whole movie in its own, and honestly one that I don't want to see. Again, there's really no harm in ripping off the plot to Die Hard, as long as the execution works. And unfortunately for this movie, all it can really rely on are Christmas puns and being as violent and grotesque as humanly possible. The action scenes are admittedly well shot, but it really doesn't rely on good fight choreography. It just relies on how can we gross out the audience as much as possible and make them go, oh, constantly throughout the movie. And after a while, it gets really, really boring, though admittedly, there are a few deaths in this movie that kind of make it worth watching, and I say kind of. Now, as for David Harbour as Santa, he is one of the few bright spots in this movie. When we're first introduced to him, he's at a bar drinking, getting shit-faced on Christmas Eve, and there are several points throughout the movie where he curses, he vomits over the side of his sleigh, he pisses over the side of it. After a while, much like with the rest of the violence in the movie, it got very boring. But as the movie goes on, we soon realize that even though this Santa is crass and he's clearly had enough of Christmas, he's still dedicated to his job. He still cares about delivering toys and gifts to everyone across the world. So he is committed at the very least. And again, David Harbour manages to make it work as well as he possibly can. The other good thing about the movie is actually the little girl that Santa keeps in contact with throughout the movie. Leah Brady is the actress, and I like how she's just very innocent. She believes in Santa Claus, she has a joy on her face when it comes to Christmas, and it's her entire family that's being held hostage by the group of criminals. And unfortunately, while she's the only one in that family you actually care about, her and her mom, everyone else is completely unlikable. Which is another issue with the movie. Why should we care about any of these characters if they get killed off one by one? They're absolutely horrible people, they're unbelievably cynical and mean-spirited, so I have no problem at all if the rest of these characters died. And then as for John Leguizamo, he is going full-blown over the top, but he sucks as a villain. His character doesn't actually have a name, but throughout this entire movie, he tells everyone to call him Mr. Scrooge because he hates Christmas. And all I'm thinking is, well, if you hate Christmas that much, why is your codename Scrooge, and why did you give Christmas-related codenames to every one of your henchmen? He's pretty much the equivalent of all the Star Wars fans on Twitter who tell you how much they hate Star Wars, and yet will not shut up about it. Like, you are really obsessive over this thing you clearly hate. To wrap things up, I really didn't know what to think about this movie based on the trailer. It could have been really fun, but instead it ended up being really terrible. The dialogue is cliche, the characters are reprehensible, except for Santa, the little girl, and the girl's mom. And the action just relies more on shock value and violence rather than actual cool fight choreography. I can't in good consciousness say that you should see this in a theater. I'm gonna say don't waste your money on it. I really did not enjoy watching this movie. It was far too violent for my taste. Like, even I have my limits. The humor is just uninspired, it's crass, and made me roll my eyes constantly. And I am sick of Christmas puns. After this movie, I am all punned out during the holiday season. So here's my advice. If you really feel like you have to see this movie, first of all, don't. But if you have to, just wait for it to come on streaming or VOD. If you want something that is more of an off-brand Christmas movie and not a traditional one like It's a Wonderful Life, White Christmas, or Muppet Christmas Carol, then I've got 3 perfect recommendations for you. Gremlins, Anna and the Apocalypse, and Die Hard. Those 3 movies are very off-brand for a Christmas movie, but they take place during Christmas, they are Christmas themed, and they still put you in that Christmas spirit. So watch any of those 3 movies. Please don't watch this. And there you go, that's my review for Violent Night. I hope you enjoyed it. And now I want to know what you guys think about the movie. If you've seen it, what did you think? Whatever the case may be, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell button to get notifications. You can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, go check out my Twitch channel, and support me on Patreon. I'll see you guys in the next video. But until then, have a good day, and take care of yourself.